and welcome to the Golfing Hub. With me this evening is Mr. Vijay Divecha, a proud man, I would like to say. Soon to see two of his students tee off at the Tokyo Olympics. So, welcome, Mr. Divecha.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. So, I'll start by taking your opening thoughts on watching two of your students, albeit remotely, tee off at the Tokyo Olympics. How does it feel?
Well, you know, what is the job that I do? I actually sort of produce players who are going to reach places that they've been dreaming about. My job is done on a daily basis and really doesn't require me to be there.
Okay. But given the conditions and had the situation been better, I guess you would have liked to be there in person.
Uh, I'll just put things in perspective. I don't want to sort of bring down anything. The Olympics is a huge sporting event,
Hmm.
and golf is one part of that event, right? But if you ask any of the top players of the world, what did they dream about? They would be telling you probably that they were dreaming about winning the Masters or the. Nobody was dreaming about the Olympics. All their lives, they've been working towards those dreams. So I'm not saying that the Olympics is not an important tournament, but in golf terms, it is not yet a major.
Yes, true, very true. Because as Udayan said, that I cannot claim that I grew up dreaming of playing the Olympics because at that time when he was growing up, golf was not part of the Olympics. I mean, it's only
Correct.
since Rio 5 years back that golf has made a reappearance. So I guess, that way, if you look at things, yes, it's still yet to attain the status of a major.
And you see, I'm not trying to put anything down. I think the Olympics is also a great event, like all other events that are being held on the international tours. Uh, the important thing for us to understand is that it's an individual sport after all,
Mhm.
right? And I have students who are playing on various different tours. I mean, there may be some students who are playing on the junior tour
Mhm.
within the country. There may be some people who are playing on the PGA tour. It's the entire gamut of tournaments. Obviously, it's not possible for me to be there.
Mm.
My job is to enable them to express themselves at whichever level they would be playing at.
Right.
So, uh, as far as being there is concerned, I think it is absolutely essential for a coach. There is not much role a coach can play in an event like this because the event takes over. You're so caught up in the schedule of the event that there is no real work that you can do there. Whatever you have taken there is what you have to express.
Right. But for you, it's a revisit because Anirban was part of the team at Rio. So, moment everything happened very quickly towards the end. Anirban qualifying, then in quick succession, Udayan also making it. So, what were the lessons from Rio that the three of you drew upon and had discussions on?
Well, we really haven't discussed my. Every time the topic ever came up, I said, look, you focus on what tournaments you're playing right now. If you
Mm,
play these tournaments well, you'll automatically qualify.
mm,
So stay within the moment. don't think too much about the Olympics, because then that thought of what is likely to happen might, and then it might affect your performance in the event that you are playing. So my approach, I mean, my advice to them has always been that, look, play moment, what is going on, focus on that. A culmination of those moments will enable you to qualify.
Right. So, and now before the two made the trip, did you also try and reach out to people, various people who have experience of playing in Japan, gathering information, know-how?
Well, uh, both Anirban and Udayan have been asked to speak to the guys who have played in Japan, and especially I think Jeev has played there, and so has Rahil.
Hmm.
Extensive, and been talking.
Okay, so coming, you spoke about the process. Uh, the last 15 months have been abnormal. Uh, we never knew something like this could happen. Lives have changed forever. Anirban himself was having a tough time on the PGA Tour, but the time that he came and spent last year after the Indian Open, he was here for a fairly long period. Uh,
Right.
did the talk of the Olympics come up then? Because at that time you didn't have much to do and there was plenty of time on hand.
Well, like I said, it was very rarely spoken about.
Hmm.
And even if the talk did come up, I actually said that, look, it's too far away right now. We, you focus on the other.
Right. So, what kind of what are the conditions that we are likely to we can expect at the golf course there?
Okay, so let me give you some information. It's hot and humid right now.
Oh,
Yeah. So the boys are really thinking about their hydration plans. I think they just played the first 9 holes after a long flight, and obviously they are now, totally tired out and probably will be finishing their dinner and going to sleep by now.
hmm.
So yeah, it will require a good hydration plan. I expect the course to be set up with fast greens. I would expect green speeds of around 11 or 12. I would be expecting the rough to be up, and it's not going to be, the golf course is probably not going to be set up like you go and hit a driver on every hole.
Okay, okay. I mean, yes, of course. But I think you.
Any,
Sorry, please carry on. Yeah.
it will require many tee shots to be with irons, or maybe even rest woods. You might get an opportunity to hit a driver off the tee on a very few holes.
Okay. Okay. So now, over the years, Anirban is into his fifth season on the PGA Tour. Even though you make a couple of visits through the year to be with him, but I think over time, you two of you have perfected the art of communicating remotely. I mean, he talking to you while you are here. So I guess that is going to help the three of you now that it's a medium that's now well tested after every round.
Well, no, we don't really talk after every round. Uh, basically what happens, let's say for Anirban, for example, the PGA Tour app has, the tracker. So
Mm-hmm.
I get good information on where the shots are going, what kind of proximities, how his approach play is there, and stuff like that. You can get a lot of details and stats from there.
Mm-hmm.
We don't necessarily talk at the end of every round at all
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, my job is to enable them. And so the time that I spent in the US this time, which became like 2.5 months because of all the things that
Mm-hmm.
transpired,
Mm.
uh, gave me a good opportunity to sort of enable him because, living in the US, you can get lost, you know. So gave me a good opportunity to do a lot of stuff and to give him everything. And now it's his job to implement it. And I think he's starting to implement it. He has started making the game a little simpler. And Udayan, unfortunately, we haven't had much tournament play out here. So
Mm.
there's, he's unfortunate for him that he's not had any tournaments happening for more than 6 months, I think.
The March, you had the last PGTI event.
Right. So it's like little bit of a disadvantage for Udayan, but uh, he has been working towards getting in playing mode uh, in the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So he should do okay.
Right. Anything else? I mean, did the boys play 9 holes today, or was it yesterday?
Yes, today, today.
Today. Okay. So, any notes on how they kind of panned out, how the 9 holes panned out for the two
No,
of them?
I just got the information that it's hot and humid and that
Hmm.
they are seriously looking at their hydration plans in the coming few days because that's the adaptation that you have to do. You don't know what the conditions are going to be like till you go there.
Right.
And once you experience it, you have to plan that, okay, this is what is going to be over the next few days. So let's be prepared for it. And as far as the game is concerned, you have to go there and express yourself. That's it. Your performance will be based on you being able to take away all the noise of being playing at a very huge event like this and being able to express yourself, do your best.
When you look back at your association with Anirban, happened. It all started with the two of you in a car going to Classic in Manesar. When you look back at this very long journey, how do you see it? I mean, it's been a journey which is kind of been very rich in terms of the memories and also the results.
Yep. Uh, uh, Obviously, life puts these moments when things, events sort of happen, and one never knows where it's going to lead to. Um, but obviously, it's been a long journey. I mean, as far as we are concerned, like we are like family.
Of course.
So discussing uh, anything under the sun is open to discussion.
Right. Okay. And that is, of course, with Anirban. As far as Udayan goes, he's been with you for a shorter time. But how's the off the golf course? What is the equation like? Do you discuss everything under the sun?
Yes, everything under the sun. And it's important for me to also, I know these guys inside out,
Hmm.
meaning, uh, for example, if he says something to me, I know where he's coming from.
Okay.
So that helps because I know how his mind is working,
Right.
and and so it's easy for me to relate to what he's saying,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and be able to provide some sort of guidance or perception or on whatever we are discussing. So Udayan, obviously being younger than Anirban, uh, also needed guidance on various parts of what he was doing. So this is a ongoing evolution that happens.
So off the golf course, Anirban as a person, Udayan as a person, and as you said that you know them inside out. What is it like to interact with them off when you're not playing golf or talking golf?
Okay, so one of the things that we always sort of one of the values we hold very dear is to be a good human being. Uh, I think whether whatever you do in life, it's important to be a good human being. And I am so happy that all my students turn out to be good human beings. They care, they're sensitive to what is happening around them. They're willing to do things for the game, which they love so much.
Right. So coming back, you've always been a man of few words. You let your actions talk. Anirban playing his second Olympics, Udayan making his Olympic debut.
Right?
Is it a validation of the processes and the methods that you followed over the years?
I I guess you could say that. But like I said, the entire process and evolution that we are talking about is a continuously changing and evolving process. I don't stick to one process because what happens is then you get stagnated. So you have to continually improve or simplify or continuously keep evolving and getting better at what you do. And as you keep getting better at what you do, the funny thing is that you keep getting faster evolutions into getting even better. So, though I may be saying this myself, but obviously, when your students start going to certain places which they've never been before, obviously we may be doing something right, but we can't stick to that right. It has to keep evolving.
Okay, no, because I asked you this. I remember we had this chat a couple of years back. I think it was at the CIMB Classic when you said that when a child comes up to you for the first time to inquire whether you would be willing to take him under your wings, you said that results don't matter. I like to watch the child for a week, see his overall conduct and how the way he goes about playing golf, interacting with peers on the golf course, and then you take a call. Something on those
Well,
lines.
yeah. I don't necessarily take a call. The call usually happens when it becomes apparent uh, to the person who wants to get into the academy
Hmm.
that I can do this and I'm willing to go to any extent this going.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes very apparent. Like I said, I must have said it at that time that 80 to 90% of the people the observation just go back home.
Right. So I know this is going to be difficult to get this out of you, but the three of you going into next week, your expectations.
I have no expectations. My Um what shall I say? My attitude towards this would be that they can express themselves to the best of their ability. Like I said, if they play good golf, uh, and the results will show. We don't. I don't want to carry too many expectations. That's the only word I've sort of passed on to them is that, you're going there. It's a big event. It's a big thrill to be playing there, but don't let the situation get over you. Don't let those expectations weigh on your shoulders. You're just playing another tournament like the hundreds that you've played before. And when you can cut out all the noise of what is going on around you, you will be able to express yourself even better.
So how have you planned next week? Is it going to be the routine that you follow day in and day out, or are you also going to take breaks and watch the boys play?
Well, what happens generally is if they are going to show this on TV live,
Hmm.
then obviously all the kids in the academy might want to watch. So life goes on as normal. We'll be monitoring it. If all of us say, okay, come on, today we must see, then we all get together and put on the TV and watch it together.
Right.
But I don't watch TV and I don't read the newspaper on a normal basis.
That's a good
The
idea.
TVs in my house are disconnected.
That's a good thing to do in these times.
Absolutely.
Right, Mr. Divecha, thank you for your time. And yes, wishing you and Anirban and Udayan all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your wishes. And let's hope the boys do us proud.
Sure. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye bye.